Dear friends, hello, dobrý deň. My name is Mirka Brezovska. I'm a Slovak translator and writer, member of the Executive Committee of the Audiovisual Translators Europe, where I represent SPUL, the Slovak Society of Translators. First of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak at this workshop, and also congratulate the Croatian Association and the DG for Translation in Croatia on organizing this wonderful and important event. I'm convinced that the issue I hope to address affects everyone and is vital to the discussion concerning our working conditions. I myself have been a freelance author, translator and artist my whole professional life, starting back in 1980s. Over the past decades, the country I live in has implemented fundamental changes in the political, social and financial systems. As a consequence, I, just like my fellow freelancers, have lived through many, sometimes precarious, transition periods. I remember the early 1990s when, as a lifelong freelancer, I went to the bank naively asking for a credit loan. I was an established translator with a satisfying workflow as well as cash flow, and the appointment seemed promising until the moment when we reached the question of my status. I'm a freelancer, I said, and the young bank clerk replied, "What is that? I'm sorry, but we do not have a box for that in our system." This may sound familiar to some of you. At that time, freelancer status was a rarity, and as such, it was often overlooked by important institutions. Over the years, the systems have improved and diversified, and today we have numerous legal frameworks that we can work under. But even so, freelancer artists and authors still face obstacles due to their status. Why, I wonder? Artists and authors are a diverse group consisting of many unique professions, including that of audiovisual translator. And that may be the core of the problem. We can work under a variety of legal frameworks which differ from country to country. We are often scattered, isolated, and by the nature of our work, we are kept in our own bubble. Thus, we are frequently overlooked by new legislation and regulations simply because we are not sufficiently represented in working groups, task force groups, and advisory bodies. This is our experience on the national and international levels. The problems stemming from our position became even more evident 2 years ago, when governments had to swiftly react to the COVID crisis. Faced with the diverse aid frameworks, freelancers and self-employed professionals often found themselves falling through the net. This was the experience of many artists, authors, and people working in the culture and creative sectors, and their circumstances were discussed at various international fora, including the Voices of Culture initiative. This unprecedented situation forced many freelance artists to step out of their isolation and join forces to make their voices heard. Yet, COVID is not the only challenge we are facing at the moment, and audiovisual translators are learning that the hard way. The penetration of technology into our professional lives started well before the COVID crisis, but was hugely accelerated in 2020 and in 2021. Technology allows us to work from home, be extremely flexible and react swiftly to new challenges. On the other hand, we are facing a situation when our work is ever more globalized. When our clients come from every corner of the world, and in their quest for economic efficiency, they sometimes push us into the corner. Many of us are facing fee dumping, inflated workloads and burnout. We are asked to do more and to do it faster, to learn new things on a daily basis, to use new technology, meet ever more demands and submit ever more metadata. Due to the character of our work, AV translators and mainly subtitlers are among the first to feel the ramifications of this technologic globalization. Our clients sometimes introduce procedural innovations hardly compatible with European standards. And there is not much we can do about it, because as freelancers we are in a weak position when it comes to any kind of bargaining. Here's my question. How can we ensure the basic rights for people in highly specialized professions scattered across Europe, who mostly work from home as freelancers or self-employed entities, and often have little direct contact with their clients? How can we improve their working conditions? Some 10 years back, we at AVTE realized that we need to join forces and try to create a framework that would help us strengthen our position. And one of the things we identified as essential was the need to make collective bargaining available for freelancers. We were subsequently shocked to find out that we had no right to it. So we began contacting MEPs and representatives of various European institutions, trying to explain the importance of giving creative freelancers in the EU the right to collectively bargain. Today, 10 years later, the issue has gained broad recognition and we have real hopes of improvement. However, we are still in the phase of discussions. The question is, how could we accelerate this process? 10 years is a long time. Culture is hugely important for the European Union, now probably more than ever. There are many surveys, focus groups and initiatives, all of them trying to come up with viable support structures for the European cultural and creative industry. But the segment itself is immensely diverse because creative professionals are a varied group working in varied conditions. Apart from that, many aspects of culture, as well as the management of intellectual rights, very important, lie mostly in the competence of the individual member states. Therefore, it is not easy to harmonize the manifold inputs into a functional framework. So, what's the solution? Well, we believe it would be helpful to establish the office of an EU ombudsperson, an advocate for freelancers and self-employed entities. It is important that freelancers have their voices heard at the national as well as the EU levels, especially now when the number of freelancers is growing and the remote work is being mainstreamed worldwide. Such office would act as an umbrella for creative freelancers across Europe, collect relevant information, help to navigate freelancer associations through the EU structures, oversee the efficient implementation of changes regarding collective bargaining and other legislation, and advocate for stronger protection of intellectual property rights at the EU level. The office could also be instrumental in creating a framework for the status of the artist, which has been globally discussed for decades. Dear friends, our world is changing faster than ever, and we need to be able to react to these changes in a prompt and constructive manner. We need the strength to bargain, we need to be assertive, and we need the European Union to stand with us. We believe that having an EU office specially dedicated to the above-mentioned issues faced by freelancers might be beneficial to us all. Thank you very much.